Welcome to Reread. Today I'm going to go over the last of the Star Wars Missions books, 17, 18, 19, and 20, written by Ryder Wenham. First one is Darth Vader Returns, book number 17. Termo from the first book is back. He's been stuck in an escape pod, kind of derelict. He crashes on a planet, finds a transmitter there, sends a message to the Emperor and Darth Vader letting him know he's alive, and has one of Tarkin's holotapes explicitly for the Emperor. Upon, just in case Tarkin were to die, he gave the holotape to Termo and said, if I die, make sure this gets to the Emperor. So after he makes that, some droids that are on the planet basically hold him hostage and he gets captured. And that's kind of how it starts off. And you're basically part of the Imperial Guard sent by Vader to go down to the planet to rescue the Admiral and make sure to get that holotape. The holotape's important. He don't have the holotape, don't bother saving him, because he's a big failure by losing a Star Destroyer in the first place. Now, this does explain one thing that I'm really happy that Ryder Wenham addressed. Darth Vader asked the Emperor why they can't attack Yavin. If they know the rebels are there, why are we taking so long to take them out? And the Emperor's biding his time because people kind of know what the Death Star is, they kind of know what it can do, and they also know they got blown up by the rebels. And so there's a lot of sympathy for the rebels right now, and he doesn't want he doesn't want the rebellion cause to grow and make martyrs out of them, so he's just waiting his time. Remember, the Emperor can see the future in a way, and he knows, don't strike too early, we need to let this fall a little bit, and then we will eventually attack their base. So that answers the big question of why, after at least a jam-packed month, why they haven't attacked Yavin 4 yet, which I kind of appreciated and I forgot was in this. Now, at the end of the adventure, Vader grabs the holotape from Termo and of course kills Termo, because he is a failure. Now, his first officer, Tix, who's with him, will survive because he wasn't the one in charge of the Star Destroyer. And then it flashes back to Q7N from the Yavin 4 base, and 3PO and R2 are distraught because Q7N, something's wrong on his home planet, and he needs to go back. So Luke, Han, and Leia are thinking maybe we should help him. And of course his home planet is where the Admiral was, and where that whole adventure took place. Book number 18 is called Rogue Squadron to the Rescue. Vader and the Emperor review Tarkin's holotape. He has this technology he's working on that can take ships out of hyperspace or refuse to let them go to hyperspace, like those Indictor cruisers and whatnot. He's developing that technology and he wants to hand over the schismatics to the Emperor just in case he dies, because he records this while he's on his way to Yavin 4 to blow up the moon. But just in case, man, it's like Tarkin knew something was going to happen. But it gives him something to do. So basically, you are playing one of the members of Rogue Squadron, and you're investigating what the Empire is up to, what the Imperial activity in the area. You're going to learn that Darth Vader is involved in this project, and there's a ship that's taking them somewhere. The next big thing that they're going to is on this place called Bonadan. And so you have to go to Bonadan next. There is a lot of action in all of these books, I should mention too, like a lot of decisions you have to make and not much dialogue, which I can appreciate because probably some kids who were playing it didn't want to read the book. They just wanted to roll the die and see what they got. And if so, this one had the biggest amount of choices. I mean, a lot of these are very fast to read because when it comes to the action part, there's very little dialogue and a ton of action. I think it takes like 15 minutes to read each one of these books. Book number 19 is called Bounty on Bonadan. And this one, they are going back to Corsac, and Han even says, yes, me and Chewie spent a lot of time here, referencing the Brian Daly adventures. Now, I think that's just references that he's been there before, but they put themselves in disguise as Imperials to maybe intercept a secret message, but when they go to the contact recognizes Princess Leia. We should have thought about that. So Han gets into a scuffle, knocks him out, and he knows that Corsac, in that area, they don't allow weapons. Well, Han has a weapon on him, a pistol, and he drops it into the pocket of the informant, and the informant gets arrested. Now, Vader is pissed about this because now he has to send a bounty hunter to Corsac to bust this informant out of Corsac and meet the real Imperials who were supposed to exchange the next plans or whatnot. So you star as a bounty hunter. You are going on this bounty for Darth Vader. You've worked for him before, I guess, to break out. His name is Radicon. What a great name, right? It's like a Decepticon. But you're breaking out Radicon. You're fighting other bounty hunters who have intercepted your signal, and you're trying to race them and then take them out as you're trying to get to Radicon. Again, a lot of adventure in this one, a lot of action where you can roll die and make decisions. But later on, Radicon, of course, gets freed. He escapes into his ship, but also tractor beams the Millennium Falcon. Now, leaving Leia, Luke, Han, and 3PO on the planet. However, hiding in the Falcon is R2, Q7N, and Chewbacca. So, the story takes off. We're like, okay, now we've got to find another vehicle, a ship, to have us chase them down. And somehow they realize they're going to Q7N's homeworld. But that's where they got to get that Millennium Falcon and save Chewie and the droids. Missions 20, which is called Total Destruction. What a great name. General Mordak and Officer Tix. General Mordak, he just got promoted. He was like a major or lieutenant, but he got promoted to general because he's in charge of this project. And this is hilarious, but he and Officer Tix are watching the project go down. They're thinking, this is going to fail, and Vader's going to kill me. Vader doesn't care about this. All he cares about the Force. He doesn't care about the big, weapons of mass destruction. And when this one fails, he's going to kill me, just like he killed Turmo. And he turns to Officer Tix. He went, "Do you want to get out of here?" And Officer Tix goes, "I was thinking the exact same thing." So they sneak off on the Millennium Falcon, and say that they're going on a patrol, but really they're just going to leave and jump ship and join the rebellion. Well, thankfully, R2, Q7N, and Chewie overhear them. It doesn't stop Chewie from bringing out his bowcaster and capturing them. And they're going to go and, rescue Luke, Leia, Han, and 3PO. But on their end of the story, they have commandeered a ship, and basically they just meet out in orbit where Officer Tix and the general basically say, "Hey, if you want to sabotage this project, go ahead. We're with you. We're with you all the way. Here's your information." So you were playing one of the rebels, and you're going on this adventure. And at the end of it, Q7N is accompanying you, and this is where he meets his demise here. Q7N will sacrifice himself and blow up the entire planet because in the event of an invasion, his people have a trigger mechanism that will blow up the planet. It's a little scorched earth, right? So after Q7N starts the countdown, now your mission is to escape the planet before it explodes. Okay. After it explodes, everyone has a heartfelt moment for Q7N. And at the end, it says, "Thank you for playing Star Wars missions." Like, this is the last one. Overall, Star Wars missions, I know people are bemoaning the fact, like, "Matt, I hate that you have these and I don't. Where can I find them?" I mean, they're just going to be super hard to find. And yes, they are good. Do you have to have them? No, because they don't connect to everything. I just think they're a novelty. They're really nice. Remember, it's not a full story. It's broken up in a bunch of action, paragraphs here. You come across 2 stormtroopers. Now you have to decide what to do. Now you've done this. Now blah blah blah. And that's all what's in the middle there. So there's not much. But I'm just saying, just because it was just a little children's role playing, book, Dave Wolverton and Ryder Wenham didn't hold back in the story. And the story's decent. It's not the best story ever. It wouldn't even be in my top 5 or top 10, I don't think. Best children's stories and stuff. Or young adult fiction, I would say. But it's still decent for what it was. All right, folks. That's all the time I have for now. See you later.